Hi, I'm William Bebb with EnviroTech Services Bio-Ballast Division. And today we're going to put together a pump kit for this 38 plus Wonder Pump. And we're doing this because we send them out a lot of times and people just don't quite understand how everything fits together. And this will make it pretty simple, I believe. So one of the first things that happens as we get out in the field is people will look at the pump and they'll see the in and the out stickers on the manifolds. And this will throw you off immediately. In the field, when these pumps are shipped out, sometimes from the manufacturer of the pump itself, they have still the stickers on them, the in and the out manifolds on the pump. This does not correlate with the manifold on the outbound side. This is actually the suction side going to the tank. The confusion becomes out does not correlate to suction side. So this is not out to the tire. This is suction side to the tank. This is out or pressure side. So don't let this out sticker confuse you. Again, in and out on the pump does not correlate to the manifold up here. This is suction side to the tank. This is pressure side. And you'll notice that because this is where the gauge sits. This is out to the pressure. So don't let these stickers fool you. So now we're going to work on the air pressure on-off system of the pump. This is what controls the pump on and off. The air pressure regulator that's supplied has an arrow that tells you directionally where the airflow goes. So we want to make sure and find that arrow. Something that is not supplied with the air system is the air chuck. Everybody has a standard or different sized air chuck. I brought one along just for demonstration purposes, and with the arrow going in, that tells us that it will go in this port here. Okay, now out is on this side. We also need to put an air pressure gauge in the side, and to do that we need to pull one of the plugs out. And for there we need a size 4 metric. We'll pull that plug out. We have the air pressure gauge supplied. All fittings must have either pipe dope or a good sealer. Again, I'm not doing that today just for expediency, but we always recommend pipe tape or pipe dope. So we have that in the side of it. Now on the outbound side, they supply a nipple and a bushing. In this particular kit, we do not need the bushing, but it's always just a standard piece. So we'll lay that aside. The nipple will go right into the regulator, and then it will go right into the on-off valve. The on-off valve turns the pump on and off. And then that goes directly into, after you remove the plastic cap, goes into the pump itself. When you're done screwing this all together, of course you'll want the valve in the position that you can reach it easily, the air pressure regulator adjustable to the air pressure that you're going to need to run the pump. Typically between 40 and 50 pounds of air pressure will run this pump quite easily with Bio-Ballast at any temperature. But you will find out with your system what works best for you. That's the on-off and the air system pressure. Now we're going to spin the pump around and we'll finish putting this together. We're going to work on the suction side again. We talked about this little problem. Have a quick disconnect that goes in. Both large disconnects are the same. You don't have to worry about that. Screw it in, a good pipe tape. The hose to the tank has the male quick disconnect. Again, pipe tape or dope would go right into that one. This side, they supply a screen. Don't often use it, but this is where you would put a valve with a quick disconnect to your tote, to your tank, to your truck, whatever you're using, but that is on you to figure out. It's not sent with the pump because nobody knows exactly what size you'll be using. So that's the suction side. That's all said and done. We're going to move across over here. We're going to start with the handle up on top. The handle with the pin here is, you can see where it's forward and back travel. We're in the neutral position. Okay, we're good there. We also have the air filter. We'll have to remove the cap. Again, pipe taper dope. A pressure gauge. Pipe taper taupe. "15-foot hose has two connectors, one large, one small. Have the large size. We'll go to the pump. The small size. Okay, that leads us to our valve core removal tool. This is toward the end of it all here. This valve core removal tool will get the male end with a quick disconnect for your pressure hose. Again, the pressure hose is the longer of the two because it will be quite a ways away from your pump. Gives you a little more flexibility on tire size. Now, in the valve core removal tool, we've got this one. If you've never been around one, it has a valve core removal piece inside. So I'm going to take this apart to show you. I've already installed the standard valve core removal, the Schrader valve removal tool. You can see it has been pressed in a little bit into the stem, and in some of the larger tires you'll have a larger valve core. The kit has an extra one inside that you can pull this out, put that one back in. So I want to put this back in. As you can see, this pulls back and forth. What we do, this is a standard water valve that would go on the tire. It would be in the wheel, just the cap I took off. So this would be inside your wheel on your standard tire valve. Schrader valve. We've all taken Schrader valves out in our lifetimes. This one actually screws on. So, I'm going to push this, pull this back, screw this back on. Not super tight because this has to spin. Imagine this is on the wheel. You will take and spin this whole piece on through the Schrader valve. So it bottoms out. We would then tighten this down. Of course, your hose is hooked up. You will now push that removal tool up to the valve core until you feel it engage. Then you would simply unscrew it. And once you feel it, once you feel like you've got it unscrewed, you pull it back. Now, just for purpose's sake, so you can see what happened, I'm going to take the whole thing off. This is not what you would do. So we would push. Now you'll see that it's captured the valve core. It captures the valve core and you would pull it back all the way down. Again, you don't do that during the fluid assembly. I just showed you where it went. So during fluid assembly, this is where you would turn the pump on. You would start filling the tire, and we'll have another video on that. Once the tire is filled, you would push the valve core back up into the Schrader back up in the valve core, screw it back in. You'll feel it tighten up. You would pull it back off. Of course, the pump has been off for a while. You would then start the suction and then release pressure, sucking it back out. And we would take this back off. It's got quite a bit. And of course, just for purposes, you can see this, it's been reinstalled and it's tight, and you air the tire back up to the proper pressure. But that's how the core removal tool works. Now, I know there are some that don't use the valve core removal tool as a valve core removal tool. There are some that will take, and this valve will come apart. Completely, water valves. It will pull this clear back and screw it directly on. Now these are tire professionals that will not lose and sag a tire. This is an advanced type filling. I don't always recommend it, and this is something that your tire professionals will do. Again, I would recommend using the valve core removal tool, but this is a way that you could possibly do it also. So same procedure, except you don't have captured the valve core. It might be a little messier for you to start out with. Again, I would recommend using the valve core removal tool. So that's about it. So if you have any questions, you can reach us at bioballast.com, and we would be happy to help you out.